It's interesting. I don't have the pedigree that some of our other speakers do. I actually come from like donkey farmers and things from Iran. I was born in Iran. It's the cat-shaped country between the two countries that we invaded. You might be familiar with it, but I love the fact that I come from this really humble background, and it's interesting that it's Idea Mensch because I have no idea what the heck I'm doing as an entrepreneur, and I didn't know what I was doing when I founded High Def either. And but I think it really having that no basis to work off of really helped me learn a lot about how business works and what things works and what don't. I founded High Def in 2003, and it was just my idea that I wanted to not work for the man. That was my business plan, I guess. and it kind of it worked for a while. Well, it was me actually, not a we, until a while after that. But from my background, coming from such humble beginnings, being an immigrant, being a single mother son, the biggest business advice I ever got was kind of inadvertent, kind of direct advice from my mother, which was basically just work hard and things will happen. And she's a seamstress. She could have been a CEO with the amount of hard work and energy she puts into her work if she had been born in the United States, and I think she could have run a Fortune 500 with her attitude and her Spitfire kind of mentality as a little Persian mother. But the fact that she had talent and alterations and working with her hands, she actually brought us to the United States with her will and with her hard work, and she put us through college and did it as a single mother. And through all that, I learned that hard work is one of the key ingredients to being an entrepreneur. But if it's the only ingredient as an entrepreneur, you end up repeating a lot of mistakes. Now, actually thought of a quote this morning. It's probably been said in a different way, but hard work will really help smooth over your mistakes. I mean, you will be able to make mistakes, and then you'll work hard, and you'll get out of that, and then you'll keep making mistakes if you don't learn from it. So smart work will ultimately lead to success if you add hard work to it. So basically, I started High Def right in college, coming out of college, with basic talent in web design and in media production. Actually, I used to do a lot of film in college, and that was my degree, was media arts. And I was like, I can do web design. The film industry hadn't been here yet in 2003. They were just starting to get started. So I decided to get into web design. I was into computers and technology for a long time, so I figured it would be a good fit. And my business plan was basically, and this, by the way, this is how not to start a company, and all the lessons I learned from it. So this is kind of the theme of my speech here, is that this is not how you should start a company, but I learned from it, so maybe you can too. My business plan was basically look at crappy websites and local businesses that didn't have really good websites, and spec some things up for them and go to them, and if it's a restaurant or if it's a casino or whatever, and show it to them and find the right people and try to get some work. And that worked about maybe 5% of the time. I probably did 12 or 15 of these things, and I got one or two. But it kind of worked, and if I had been smart, I would have actually, done it a little bit differently. But we kind of puttered along for about 4 or 5 years, and then I learned my, second lesson in entrepreneurship, which is find great people and really invest in people. It's when one of my old friends from 5th grade, TJ Cook, came on board at High Def, and that's really when things started to change at the company. He was our valedictorian in high school, so I'm like, I'm gonna get the smartest guy I can, and so he came on board, and he and I and we started building this little company. And it's when you invest in the right people, I think that's when you really start seeing things grow, and you start seeing some success. And we brought in a CTO that was really awesome, and he's still on board with us. And so that was about 4 or 5 years ago. And And at that time, I'd never written a business plan. I'd never done any of that. But at that time, we realized we need a vision statement, right? Or we need to have some kind of vision for the company. And I think when we started thinking on that level, that's when we really started to grow and started to have some success. Because when you when you define your vision, you're like, we have this goal, we have this thing that we want to aim for, then everybody else can kind of sign on board, and you can internally and externally start marketing to the right people, and you get more of the right people in, and it kind of snowballs from there. And so our vision, and we said it at that point, was that we really wanted to work with organizations that were making a difference in the world, and those who are doing a positive way, positive change, and nonprofits, social enterprises, startups too, that are doing a lot of great things for the world in a positive sense. And once we started to say that, and we started to believe that, we started to get rid of a lot of our clients that existed at that point, where it just didn't align with those values. And our portfolio started to become more in alignment with our vision, and then our staff started to become more in alignment with our vision. And we actually built something that was pretty cool. Now we are in Denver, we're here in Albuquerque, and we have staff across the country. We're a virtual company because we really believe in that live-work balance. And so our staff, we have an Apple employee, a former Apple employee that came on board with us and took a pay cut of like 50% to come on board with us, because we offered her something that she wasn't able to get anything in Silicon Valley, which is a live-work-life balance where she can be with her kids on a daily basis, take them to school, and be back to work in 5 minutes, and all those really wonderful things. And so our culture has really been based on this awesome concept that we can actually make profit, we can actually protect our people and protect the planet. And that's what high def is. And it's really incredible to see that happen after puttering for so many years by myself and doing absolutely the wrong things as an entrepreneur. Business deals that were just horrible, not knowing how to write a contract, just horrible. I should have been out of business like 12 times. But I didn't. It was the hard work, I think, that kind of, kept me going. And it's just, I'm just surprised that we're at the point that we are now. And so we're almost at 2 million in revenue yearly. We have 18, we had 20, but we had to let a couple people go. But we have some really great staffers. We have them in all over the country, like I said, and they're just really, really amazing people. And these people are the right people. I got the right people on board. So my next adventure, and then I've seen that this thing is possible, and we actually started an incubator program internally at High Def called Cause Labs. And basically what it is every 2 months we get all the ideas together from all the staff, and they're just kind of like throwing great ideas for single day type things that we can build in a hackathon. And so we have this hackathon that happens every 2 months, and we build some really awesome things. And one of the things that we built was for in the children's education space. It's called My Story. It's a little iPad app that lets children draw and with their fingers, and then put pictures in there, and then tell their story and actually record their voice and do multiple pages, and then send that off to grandma and grandpa. And it comes in an iBook, and it's online and everything. We did this all in the free time, and we did it through a hackathon format, and we saw a lot of potential. We have 60,000 downloads with barely any effort. So I'm like, there's something there, And so my next adventure is going to be taking a lot of these lessons that I've learned with High Def, becoming the chairman of our board that we're structuring, and still containing, and kind of still holding on to that legacy of that company, and then making sure that they're going to be successful. But I'm going to spin off and create a children's education and gaming company. So it's going to be fun. And I've always bootstrapped. I've never gotten venture money. I never really needed it, but maybe I do. I don't know. Maybe we'll figure that part out. I've been going to some really great venues here in New Mexico that give you, seriously, like Noel here at the facility, you guys have, if you're a startup, you guys have some really awesome things that are going on in New Mexico. Come to the co-working space here. There's Wes, the incubator. You can go talk to Doug over there, and he'll give you awesome advice. If you have a business plan, he might even consider it. There's the Coronado Ventures that I went to last night, and I think David was there too. And there's actual venture people in this state that actually do invest. So there's tons of resources, and I would recommend entrepreneurs go and use them. And they're here. They really are here. I mean, just people aren't talking about them, or they don't know about them, or something. But I don't believe the saying that says that you can't start a company here, because I did it. David's doing it. Others are doing it. So do it.